Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge here today as well Academic Vice President of Brigham Young University, Brent Webb, and Associate Vice President for International Affairs, Erlen Peterson. We're grateful for their support today. We welcome you warmly today. This is a very exciting day for us. We have planned for years for the opening of this exhibition, and it's with joy in our hearts that we have prepared it and wish to share it with you and the public who will see it later on today and tomorrow and throughout the coming months. I'd like to begin where I began at our previous press conference with a quote from UCLA professor Dr. Khaled Abou El Fadl. He said, "I believe that the core and the kernel of Islam is the search for beauty, the search for God's inexhaustible beauty and the beauty of God's creation. This search for beauty," he continued, "is evidence of the power of our shared humanity. Beauty is a universal concept, a unifying force, and a source of hope for a better future." In that spirit, in this spirit of a search for beauty, and with tremendous excitement, we welcome you today to the opening of Beauty and Belief, Crossing Bridges with the Arts of Islamic Culture. The exhibition has more than 260 objects from 10 countries and more than 40 lenders across the world. It represents, I think, a breathtaking and powerful presentation of masterpieces and modest works. The scale is quite interesting and important, I think, to the thesis, which Sabia will share with you later. It will show, we hope, the intrinsic connection that exists between the work of the artist and the devotion which underlies the genesis of that work, the faith that produced it. We have a unique educational approach off to my left, your right, in a pavilion that will allow families, children, visitors of all kinds to experience the forces that unify this diverse body of work. And we hope above all that the exhibition and the educational materials will highlight the implications upon our efforts to build bridges between the Islamic world and the West. The planning and execution of this exhibition has taken years. It's required the support of many individuals and institutions. Originating here at BYU, it will then proceed after it finishes here at the end of September to the Indianapolis Museum of Art, the Portland Art Museum, and the Newark Museum. And we're so pleased that it will be seen by these diverse communities across the nation. We hope and expect that it will have a significant presence and influence in each of these recognized and very respectable venues. We're pleased to acknowledge today and express gratitude to those who have made this exhibition possible. Beauty and Belief is supported by a national leadership grant from the Institute for Museum and Library Services, as well as grants from the National Endowment for the Humanities and the National Endowment for the Arts. We're grateful as well for the additional foundations and individuals, and they include, who've contributed to Beauty and Belief, and they include Jack and Mary Lois Wheatley and the Wheatley family, King and Diane Hussein, Don Bailey and Leslie Stanford, the R. Harold Burton Foundation, the George S. and Delore Eccles Foundation, the Stephen A. and Martha Alice Sears West, the Laycock Center for Creative Collaboration in the Arts at Brigham Young University, the Simnani Family Foundation, the Lawrence T. and Janet T. D. Foundation, the Utah Office of Museum Services, Dr. Omar M. and Dr. Nancy S. Cater, and the many other donors who support the ongoing operations of the Museum of Art at Brigham Young University. I will introduce just in a minute those who will speak. I would just first like to make some personal observations about the importance of this exhibition at BYU. And I have three statements. Why would we do this? And I think Sabia Al-Kamir, the project director, will speak more to this from her perspective. But I think in working on this exhibition, I have learned that the Mormon community, the Church of Jesus Christ, the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, share with their Muslim brothers and sisters a love of beauty. I've tried to highlight that in the statement of Dr. El Fadl, who suggests again that the core of Islam is the search for beauty. Ihsan is that Arabic word which I think so beautifully specifies and tries to identify that search. Secondly, we share the belief that God is the source of beauty. And I have found so much with which to harmonize and sympathize as I've learned about these objects, their source, and the motivations that underlie them. I will never forget moments we have shared as we have first, I guess, seen a look at Sabia's object list. And as she explained to us the meaning behind these objects, my heart and mind were captivated, and I felt a unity with her core beliefs and mine. That has changed my life, and I am forever grateful for that experience. So we share a love of beauty, we share the belief that God is the source of beauty, and lastly, we believe that building bridges of understanding and harmony that will ensure for us and for future generations a world of hope and possibility requires that we travel together across our universe of shared experience and begin to see the beauty in the other person, the divine energy in others, the life that is alive in them. We hope those same feelings that we have experienced as we've worked on this exhibition together and built bridges one with another will be at the core of the experience of all who visit this wonderful show. I'm now pleased to introduce the rest of this morning's program. First, we'll hear from Dr. Sabia Al-Kamir. She's the project director of Beauty and Belief. Born in Tunisia and educated in London, she was the founding director of the Museum of Islamic Art in Doha. I believe you have her bios and the bios of all those others who will speak. After Sabia speaks to us, we'll hear from Dr. Mark Magleby, who is the director of the Museum of Art at Brigham Young University. We'll then hear from three guests and collaborators today. We're so grateful to welcome Dr. Mary Beth Graybill, the Arlene and Harold Schnitzer Curator of Asian Art at the Portland Art Museum, one of our collaborating venues. After Mary Beth speaks to us, we'll hear from Deborah Pope. She is the Executive Director of Shangri-La, the Doris Duke Foundation for Islamic Art. And following Deborah will be Mr. Paul Schwartz, who is a member of the Board of Trustees of the Textile Museum. I wish to note that both Shangri-La in Hawaii and the Textile Museum are two of our largest lenders to the show. We're so grateful for their collaboration and their presence here today. Would you join me in welcoming Sabia Al-Kamir, Project Director of Beauty and Belief?